never give up.
Hey folks, Revolutionary Brewer here, and we're back with another homebrew kit review. So today we're going to review the Cooper's wheat beer that I made in the previous video. It's been in the bottle, I'd say, for about a month now, roughly. This is a nice chilled quart bottle, and what we're going to do, we'll just open it up and give it a go and get right down to it. So the first thing about this beer, it's the Cooper's, the Thomas Cooper's wheat, and we'll give it a pour and we'll see what we get out of it. We'll give it a good aggressive pour, see what we get. I didn't carb it that highly, so we're not going to get a huge head or anything. No, just a little head. You can see the bubbles. It's fairly well carbonated. It does have a chill haze to it. You can barely see through it, but in the bottle it's clear as anything. Like I said, tiny little head on it. And let's give it a go, and we'll see what we have here. As always with the Cooper's beers, solid, very solid. So this beer here, the style, this to me is the lightest beer I've ever made from a kit. It's just very, very lightly hopped, and not only is it lightly hopped, it has a little bit of a sweetness to it, almost a little bit like a banana sort of flavor to it. Let me have another little taste of it. Yeah, it's just very, very, very mild. It's just very lightly hopped, and it has that little bit of a almost like a banana smoothie. It's really a smooth little bit of sweetness, a little bit frothy. I didn't carbonate it very much, so it's not highly carbonated, but really refreshing. Like, I think this beer here, if you have maybe, this is almost like, I don't want to sound sexist here, but a lot of girls like a beer with like a Coors Light or something with like not a whole lot of bitterness to it, not a whole lot of hop to it. I think this would be the go-to beer. This is even lighter than the Mexicans, the Cooper's Cerveza. Yeah, very light. For me, it's actually a little bit too light. I like some of the lighter beers, like I like the Cerveza, but this is almost a little bit too light. But that's the style. That's the style. This is a good beer. I didn't do anything fancy, as you've seen on the previous video. I just made it with £1.5 of liquid malt extract, £1.5 of the liquid glucose, and just mixed it all together, and quality beer. That's what Cooper's will give you every time, a quality beer. No question about that. So this Cooper's beer, I'm going to rate it a 3.5, a solid 3.5 out of 5. The reason I'm giving it the 3.5 out of 5, it's just a little bit too light for my likings. But that's fine. I mean, a lot of people like that kind of style beer. I would recommend this if you have a friend that maybe likes to drink Coors Light, maybe your wife or girlfriend, or just a macro beer drinker in general that likes a little bit of a lighter beer, a Coors Light, a Bud Light, Michelob Light, whatever. This might be something a little bit interesting to try. It's so lightly hopped, and it's just like almost like banana bread, almost a little very faint banana-y sort of taste in the back. But it's very pleasant. It actually, I would say that's what makes the beer. I mean, it's very faint, but it's really pleasant, and it's just a good tasting beer. I can't say much more about it. Now, there's a couple ways to drink this. I just poured this in the glass straight. Also, with these ones, what I like to do is take the bottle, and I like to swish up the yeast on the bottom, and then pour that into my beer. And if you don't like yeast, don't do it this way. But I do enjoy some of them this way. So you can see now it's going to be cloudy, of course, because you got the yeast, and it adds a little extra flavor to it, and I like it. This is the only beer that I like mixing the yeast up with, is the wheat beers. But yeah, I do like it. So Again, solid 3.5 out of 5. If you like a light beer, you know, this has definitely got to go into your rotation. Cooper's always quality, no question about that. No worries there. So, like I said, 3.5 out of 5. If you like the light beers, if you like a wheat beer, you know, if you like Hoegaarden or something like that, go out and try this. If you like a Bud Light, go try this. If you just want to try something a little bit different, go ahead and try this. A good quality beer. So, coming up next, we got a couple reviews in the pipeline here. I got a couple kits that I haven't brewed yet, but you may remember a few kits ago I did a Barron's kit and absolutely hated it. It was the worst review ever. I'm a sucker for punishment. I went and bought a different kind of Barron's kit. I wanted to see if I use yeast. I bought a separate yeast to make it with. If I could produce a decent beer. We'll see. And I also have a Festa Brew kit coming up. I haven't reviewed one of them yet. Very simple to make. It's basically wort in a bag, dump it in, add the yeast. We'll see how that turns out. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. As always, appreciate the comments. Keep on brewing, guys. Cheers.